Hello everybody, welcome to Brick Vault. Today we are looking at a LEGO minifigure collection. This is every single Catwoman minifigure ever made. She is one of the oldest villains within the Batman franchise. I believe she appeared in the very first Batman comic. And for the most part, she was portrayed as a total villain, but I feel like in the last decade or two, she has been somewhat of an anti-hero. Regardless, we are not going into the history of the character herself, but the history of her as a LEGO minifigure. Now let's get started. The very first version of her came out back in 2006, and she was part of the original Batman themed line. The set she appeared in was the Batman Dragster Catwoman Pursuit, and the detailing for her body remains relatively simple. She has just a very subtle purple highlight detailing on the front of the torso, and a pretty basic print that makes up the belt. I think the best part of her is the print for the face. She has a reflective visor piece that is underneath the mask, and then also an alternate expression without the mask. And by the way, this mask or cowl piece that is on the head is the only time they ever produced it for this figure. Depending on the character, helmets or mask molds can be reused for many years, but I don't think the designers got it right the first time around, and this is the only time it was ever produced. This original Catwoman is relatively collectible. She is $15 if you want to get her brand new, and then the next Catwoman doesn't come out until 6 years later at the beginning of the DC Superheroes line. She's actually one of the first minifigures produced for this line, and this is essentially an updated version of the exact same Catwoman. The zipper, purple highlights, and belt are pretty much all the exact same design, though the print itself is entirely different. It is just updated. I think the biggest difference you can see is the negative space printed on for the hips, and there is printing on the back this time around. The cowl piece is, once again, a different mold like I pointed out before, and the print for the face is also updated. It is not a silver reflective visor print on the underside, which I don't think looks quite as good. It is alright with the blue, and she also has a very evil smirking smile on the other side. This Catwoman came out in the Catwoman Catcycle City Chase, a relatively small set, but I think people really like this one a lot. She is a $9 fig, and then the next two Catwomen don't come out until 2016. This first one here is actually the most collectible of any of the Catwoman minifigs, and she came out in the classic TV series Batcave set, one of my personal favorite LEGO sets of all time, Meow. And of course, the detailing here is to reflect exactly what her character looked like back in the 1966 Batman TV series. Saying that this television show would be dated by today's standards is an understatement for sure. She's all about style. I don't think that gold chain hanging from her neck would be the best thing if you're trying to sneak around all quietly, but nobody really cares. She's got cat ears that stick out the top, and you can see that the detailing is pretty much spot on to what she's supposed to look like in the television show. Pretty much every single minifigure from this set is very sought after. She is the most expensive from this collection, coming out to $17 brand new, and transitioning to the second release of her for 2016, this is the cheapest version of Catwoman you can get. This is Catwoman from the Mighty Meow set, Catwoman vs. Batman. Aside from her very simplified torso print detailing, her most distinctive feature really is the short legs. She should have a very wacky expression on her face, though you can't really see it that well because the mask pretty much covers it all the way up. This is the same mask mold, by the way, that was released in 2012, and I think it's nice that she also came with this special accessory feature, which is just a milk carton. It's a great little print there, and I guess this makes sense because, you know, cats like milk. She comes out to $3, and then let's jump up to 2017 with the last two Catwoman figs, and they both were released within conjunction of the LEGO Batman movie. This is the first one that was released, and this is the Arkham Asylum Catwoman minifig. So the detailing for her torso and legs is the same as what we got for Poison Ivy that came out in this set, and that orange utility belt is also shared with Scuba Batman, I believe. The only distinctive features are really her purple hands and the purple mask piece, which is a brand new mold, and we also have her expressions on her face. The green underlying printing by the eyes and sort of the white outline there really does work. It feels like she's got some night vision goggles on, and you can even see a direction that she's possibly looking in. Now, even though a lot of these pieces on her aren't really exclusive, because the set is a little bit more expensive, she still comes out to a minimum of $5, while this next one is the other Catwoman. She's a lot more complete. This is really the original get-up or suit that she is supposed to be wearing in the movie, and she is $4 here, or $3, and that's because she came out in the much smaller Catwoman Catcycle Chase set. Undeniably, she is a better Meowny figure, and she is my personal favorite of any of the Catwomans. Instead of going with those slight purple highlights like some of the previous minifigs, they just decided to make purple her entire base color, and her highlights now are just some very sleek silver lining. The top of her zipper has a cat symbol. She's got great printing that goes along the sides of the arms, and she looks a lot better with a purple utility belt. Also, I want to point out that though this set was small, this is one of the best brick-built motorcycles motorcycle builds we've seen. One of the best. All right, and there it is for the collection. These are all 6 of the Catwoman figs together. I gotta say, there isn't like a whole lot of evolution between similar designs. They mostly have just been changing up the sort of style that this minifigure is presented in. And at the end of this episode, I always like to talk about what minifig I would like to see for this particular character in the future. And nostalgia draws me to maybe the animated TV series Catwoman, or possibly the Batman Beyond Catwoman. But there's a lot more colorful versions of her in the early series, which would also be really cool to get for maybe a San Diego Comic-Con version. But anyways, that is it for this episode, so thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Remember, if you enjoy our content, you can always like or subscribe, and if you have any ideas about another collection you want to see us do in the future, let me know in the comment section below. Alright, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time at Brick Vault. Meow.